Welcome to Actors Anonymous podcast. I'm your host, as always, Sam Quiche. To our listeners, thanks for joining us again. We love hearing from you. Co-hosting with me, as always, is Mr. Jordan Burbank.
It's been too long.
It's been too long. About 10 minutes since our last recording. With us in the studio is a veteran and a very, 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 very talented actress, Mindy Sterling. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You might know Mindy as Farbissina. Oh my gosh.
I know. You know, it's like it's one of those easy words to say, but everyone messes it up. It's Frau Farbissina.
Farbissina.
That's it.
Frau Farbissina. In the Austin Powers series of comedy films, Principal Susan Skidmore on the Disney Channel series Ant Farm, Miss Endive in Chowder, Lin Beifong on The Legend of Korra, and Miss Briggs on iCarly. What a resume you have.
Oh, that's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning. And the stuff on IMDb, that's just the stuff on IMDb. Who knows what else is on there? Our theme for this episode is our need for self-awareness and how do we get it. And I want to quote from The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but know the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. I feel many of us course through our daily lives with a level of unconsciousness that is just enough for us to go to work, drive our car, eat, sleep, etc. Could you imagine, though, what you could do and what you could see when you just raise your alertness through everyday life just a little? Becoming more sensitive and perceptive to even the smallest of tasks, what kind of trickle effect this would have whenever you are faced with an obstacle, a life crisis. With awareness comes a sensitivity naturally to the world around, and more importantly to yourself. You're ultimately able to assess more truthfully the circumstances in which you are in, and in doing so, are better armed to solving problems and moving forward. Now, self-awareness is a difficult thing to define and or comprehend sometimes, especially if you yourself, the listener, have not ever sat down and just meditated before. There is a beauty in simple meditation. All you need is you, and sometimes not even a quiet place, although a peaceful environment helps tremendously for beginners. This simple meditation process only requires to focus on one thing, your breath. That's it. It's our unconscious activity we perform daily to stay alive, but when we focus on it, when we consciously control it to behave more efficiently, we begin noticing our body physically, tingling in our legs, the breeze across our face. I'm a little gassy today.
There or are you just saying?
That's both. There are things we feel. Excuse me. The gassy thing threw me off. There are things we feel and are heightened, and we are able to assess them more clearly because we are focused on the breath. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that if you meditate, your life will be easier and all you've ever wanted will come true. No, that's not how it works. If, however, you continue to meditate with discipline and an open heart daily, you will notice yourself stronger, more keen to your environment, and a self-awareness that will be different levels for everyone involved. Constant practice with positivity and discipline is the secret to this. Everyone has 5 minutes out of their day to meditate. Everyone. Mindy, how important is self-awareness to you as an artist?
Well, ask me if I meditate, and I'll say no.
Okay.
Which is horrible. I should. I absolutely agree with everything that you said. Mm-hmm. I think that people who meditate maybe are not as, crazy as I am. But and I also agree that that's not going to solve everything.
Right.
So, what was your question?
No, so that's okay.
About being self-aware.
Yeah, about being self-aware. But is there a focus you take whenever you're creating a character? Would you say that?
Well, I think I'm self-aware in watching people
Mm-hmm.
and sort of picking things that I find interesting or find fascinating about people, good and bad. And I think that comes from an improv background and how to create characters, because some people aren't not quite sure. They create a character that's sort of cliched. And I think that people in general are fascinating human beings, and that to me is a way to choose little, facets of them and little gestures, mannerisms, the way they speak, the way they think, into creating a character. So yeah, I'm aware of people.
And I think that's really important whenever you're communicating with another actor on stage, right? Because there's not only a self-awareness, but also awareness of your circumstances and your partner. That must be, you must assess and soak up what they're giving you in order to react truthfully. Is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. And in improv, one of the things that we teach is about making it about the other person. To really, they're the ones that are really cueing you as to how your character is going to respond. So when you are working with someone, the focus should not be on you. The focus really should be on your partner, and then how your character would respond. So you don't want to think about it too much. So you want to, be able to have an idea of who the character is that you're creating, how they think. But it really is, because sometimes it's not necessarily a piece of dialogue in how you react, but it's also a feeling that you get internally, something that you pick up physically. So I do think it's really important to make it about the other person.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's a very selfless thing to do. Has that come naturally to you, or is it kind of something you've developed over the years and learning?
No, I think it's who I am.
Gotcha.
I think it's always been like, I always would think that and not putting myself down, but you're always more important than me, but not in a way that makes me feel self-deprecating. But you matter, and I'm gonna highlight you, and I'm gonna make you feel as important. Obviously, unless you're picking me apart and attacking me, and then it becomes all about me. But I always look at things like, I think about people that do really bad things in life, and I always think, oh my God, what was their family life like? I think, what would their mothers say about all of this?
Yeah.
Or they must have really led a very horrible, difficult life. And so I always think about stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Like where they came from. Why is someone so, like, how people, the prejudices of people, or the, how people react. Because in this business, there are people that are very, very self-aware of only themselves.
Really?
Oh, well, yeah, well. And you know what I mean? But they can be that way. And I always think, what is that about? Well, it comes from a body of insecurity. And it comes from, you know what I mean? I don't think people are necessarily born being. Can you say horrible things?
You can curse. You can curse. Yeah.
I don't think that people are born with, fuck you, I'm better than you. I think that is sort of developed, maybe how you were raised, or it has to come from an insecurity. Why would anybody look at someone else and think I'm better than you? That's just not how I live my life.
Yeah.
It's something that gets so lost in this industry at times too. I feel like, 'cause I feel like there's so much. It's an industry that is not only a difficult ability to work continuously in for your entire duration of your career, but also because of the people that work in it, but also the people that don't work in it and that go to see all of your stuff, because they're ultimately the ones that decide if something is being watched with enough viewership to keep going. But also with celebrity embedded into acting, it causes so much inflated ego.
Well, and there are so many egotistical people in the business, and in working with some of them, it's mind-boggling to me. Really, you have this amazing job that you get to go to, and I always wonder, if a show's been on. In fact, we were talking about this. I'm working on something. We were talking about this yesterday too. If you're working on a job and you first get on that job, how have you changed from the first day to, let's say, the fifth season? And you're were you always that person? And it just sort of even came out more because you're given more, and you're then it becomes about money. Then it becomes about greed. And I think the business really promotes that and facilitates that to people, because then it's sort of like, oh, okay, so if you and I are working, you're getting more money than me. And I found out that people really do get like, I want to make more money than that person. I don't care that we're equal. And where does that come from?
I don't know. My uncle always said that he had a really interesting perspective. Those kind of seeds, they were taken care of, maybe unconsciously or like by doing little things here and there, and then whenever they were given the opportunity, it was, they were allowed to flourish, and that's why it seemed like such a big.
Well, when they're rewarded for bad behavior, because a production needs to go on, and they are the star, and they're the ones that, are bringing an audience supposedly, and so they are rewarded for the kind of shitty behavior that they are maybe accustomed to, and I don't like that. I find that to be like, I'm always aware of. I try to be aware of how I handle myself with grace, and if I don't like, and I'm always apologizing if I feel I come across in a way that could be a sort of for me, I call it a diva moment.
Oh, I just from knowing you this little bit of time, I would be surprised if you ever came across that way.
Well, but you know what I mean? If sometimes you're short with someone, or sometimes you're, I don't know. I mean, whether it be the hair, or the makeup, or it's like I'm so blessed when I get to work and when I get to do that. And I also, I think it's just the way I was brought up, and I have a 20-year-old son, and I'm always really grateful to be in positions that I'm in. And I really believe that you treat everyone like how you want to be treated.
I love that you've been working for so long, and then you still have this amazing attitude, and it's the right attitude, in my opinion, and I agree with you 110%.
Well, and then you get these young people who who get into the business, and things happen to them very, very quickly and very fast. And I believe that your surroundings, all the people that make money off of you, can also dilute your awareness of what is really about the business, because everybody is like, well, you should, we need to ask for this, we need to do this, we need to do that. And, I remember being in a car accident once, like nothing horrible, but hitting someone from behind. Oh my God, and, thinking, I tapped him. I barely did anything. But LA is all about sue him. And then sure enough, I got a call. Yeah, they're complaining about their neck, and like, what? And it's like, and I think somebody did that to me once, and I was like, and they were like, you should sue them. It's like, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
It's like,
that is, it's, maybe I'm just, sometimes I think I'm naive, but I'm also that's just not who I am. So, but I think it's the people around you too. You've got your agents, your managers, the producers, everybody is got a piece of you. I think that can make people crazy. I mean, I'm not at that, I'm not at that sort of level, but you watch it and you hear about it. And I hear these stories about these actors, and I'm like, oh my God. But when you're getting paid, I don't know, $60 million to do a movie. It's a lot. That's a lot riding on you. And there's a lot of, I think, pressure put on you. So I think you have to, be able to step away and go, hey, what's really going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. There has to be an awareness.
Yeah.
And I think you lose that whenever you're surrounded by the people who are, like you said, taking bits of you and are in control of you. That
something
you lose yourself.
Though. I'll never understand why people. I mean, I've read. I won't ever name anybody actually, but I've read so many things about actors that are just like, yeah, the whole cast said they don't want you back. Like you're not coming back for the sequel. And it's just like, how could you be that bad that everybody turned against you?
There are people. I mean, and once again, I'm always like, when you're in that makeup chair, you get everything. All those they're like your best friends, because not only do they have to make you look, but they have the best stories. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, gossip time. And because they work with all the actors.
Yeah.
And you hear things about people that are like, because this is like one of my like go-to questions for makeup people. I always go, all right, so what's your new find? What new makeup product do you have? What would be good on me? And then I go, all right, tell me the worst person you worked with and the best person you worked with. And immediately it's not like they go, oh, let me think. They have it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that helps me realize I don't want to ever be like that. And, but yeah, I find it fascinating.
That's great. I love that. That's like, and that's such a, like, that actually just says so much to your personality too, of like how you're saying like, just be nice to everybody. And like you really do get that kind of relationship with all these different
And I don't
people.
mean like invite them over for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean like,
mean?
let's exchange phone numbers. Not like
I
that
have
nice.
it now.
No.
I have it.
But I really mean, hi, good morning. Or, and atmosphere, say hello to people that, that are background. And
that drives me crazy. Just the simplest, like, say hello to people. Like, just go. You don't know how many times I've experienced this. Good morning. Like, it's the start of the day. Good morning. Being ignored completely. I'm like, that was kind of rude. Okay.
Yeah. No, and have people come on and they don't like to look at you and they don't, and the crew are, I'm always so amazed what they do and how hard they work, and that too, it's just, wow, it can be a very, very rough business if you make it rough. You know what I mean?
We just had Ari Stidham on the show, and we were talking about, oh gosh, it just went out of my mind. How everybody's a team player. Like you're part of you've got a small piece of the story, and you're just important as the boom operator, or just important as somebody else in the crew, because you guys are all part of this story. And I work on a show called Awkward, and I gotten to know, like, not intimately, but like friendship wise, like some of the crew members, and they're like really cool guys, and like I'm trying to go golfing with some of them now, and it's like, it's just so cool. Like, this is just a person, like a totally cool person, and we're all part of like a team, and we're creating something awesome.
And if you get to know them more, because especially if you're seeing them daily, if you're on a show and it's a regular show, I love, when somebody comes on and it's like, hey, Tom, hi, Jim, hey, blah, 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 and they know them, hey, yeah, did you see the game? And, blah, blah, and you're like, it's a team. Mm-hmm. And I think from the improv world too, that is also a tool to, to teach. You are a team. Nobody is responsible for any one thing. And I think that is how I like to see things played out. And the hardest thing, I think, is being a guest on a show. Because I don't know if you've been a guest, but it's you're nervous. You don't know anyone, and everybody's like, hey, how was your weekend? And then you're like, hi, I'm Mindy. And, it's like, oh my God, I gotta remember my lines. Oh my God, I don't want anybody to think I'm an idiot. And oh my God, I'm gonna mess up. And I get so nervous, and you feel so isolated. And there are some people that are so lovely and wonderful and endearing, and others literally like, hey. And like won't even acknowledge. It's just, I'm just here to work. It's like, really? So before this job, you were a guest, I'm assuming. So wow, you didn't go through this crap? Yeah. So it isn't mine. It's pretty amazing.
I feel like some people think it's like a rite of passage too, or something, where they're like, oh, I got treated like crap once, so I'm gonna treat people like crap.
That's
just like,
it's not good.
Stupid. Like,
I don't know, or it's just the way they're so caught up in their own world. That's why that awareness thing. They're caught up in their, I'm a star of my show, and oh, good for you, you're here.
There's a beautiful saying, and I just love it. It's like, be kind to everyone. You don't know what type of battles they're fighting, or what type of demons they're fighting.
It's really true.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's
you don't know when you see somebody out and about, and they, and you hear like, oh, they were so nasty, and it's like, well, what do you mean by nasty? They didn't kibitz with you. You don't know what. We all have dark places in our lives. Mm. All the time. Everybody has different stress levels. Everybody has, family issues. Everybody has relationship issues. Everybody has money issues. Everybody's got family who's dying, who's sick. You don't know nothing. You don't know what you're dealing with physically as well. So I always think you have to give somebody like a second chance. to you know, but I always feel for those people to be aware that the outside people don't know. And if you're out and about, you know, and somebody wants to come up to you and ask you for your autograph, be aware that that's really important to them. Yeah. And you know what I mean? And give them a moment. But also, too, if you're eating, like if I'm eating, I'll go, can you wait till after I eat? You know, but I won't be rude. I'm just like, I have a mouthful of food in my mouth. Right. You just wait till after. I'm leaving right now because. So yeah, it's just being aware that everybody is human.
Yeah,
I love that. We've got a couple more minutes before our break, but how briefly, how did you even get started in acting? I'm just curious, like the acting industry. School.
You know, I think my dad was a comedian, an actor, and a singer.
That's right.
And I think it was just a way. I was very shy growing up, and it was a way to go, oh, I can be somebody else. I don't have to be Mindy Sterling.
Yeah.
And because I was, you know, really nervous about giving speeches and stuff. So I think it was that, and that's why when I hear people take, you know, the arts are out of the school program, it's like, oh my God, that saved my life. So it was school, getting involved in drama and plays and stuff like that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to know some of some bad audition stories, some of your most notable acting experiences you'd like to share, some bottom of the barrel moments and how you got out of them. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Juicy stuff.
All right, we'll be right back. This week's episode is sponsored by CastingAbout.com. In association with Actor Breakdown Services, Casting About is a marketing tool for building relationships. As an acting member, you can use Casting About to research casting directors and their projects in order to target marketing materials to specific casting directors who generally cast their brand or type. Their goal is to teach actors to cultivate genuine relationships with the casting community so that the casting director will think of you before a breakdown is released for submissions. For more information and to sign up for your membership today, visit castingabout.com. And we are back with Mindy Sterling.
That was so smooth of an intro.
Years of acting training,
yeah,
right
see,
there.
You know how to go boom. You're right on.
There you go, Mindy. In your experience of life as an actor, there's had to be a couple of bad audition stories, or has it all just been perfect?
I think most of them are bad.
There's no way.
I'm the kind of person I literally will leave and go, oh shit, what was that? What the hell did I just do? Then you go in your car. I mean, and I know every actor does this. And oh my God, why didn't I do that? Should I go back? And should I go, I got something better? I get very nervous. I mean, I just do. And I think the more that people know me in the room, the more nervous I get. Because it's all that, oh, Mindy, oh my God, how are you? Thank you so much for coming in. Oh my God, you are great. You are amazing. And go. And it's always, wow. I always feel like, oh, I'm going to disappoint them.
Oh my gosh.
No, so I don't
That's so uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Like, coming from an actor's point of view, like, to go from, to say that and then okay now perform. It's a Jerry Seinfeld interview. I saw him talking with Jerry Seinfeld, Ricky Gervais, Chris Rock, and Louis C.K. They were just having like a talk.
Right.
I mean, it's a fucking great interview. It's like an hour.
That sounds amazing.
It's like masters of comedy, each with a different style.
Yes.
And they're talking about just comedy. And then Louis C.K. was talking about one time how he opened for Jerry Seinfeld. And he was like, get ready for the best comedian ever, Jerry Seinfeld. And he remembers after he was done, Jerry found him. And he doesn't even remember the story, Jerry.
Funny.
He goes up to Louis C.K. He's like, don't you ever fucking say that again. You set the bar so high and I tanked out there.
Yes.
Don't you ever fucking say that.
Yes.
And Jerry's like, I said that to you.
But you know, I think I don't know. I feel that. I always feel I'm now going to disappoint you. Let me be a surprise. Let me be, you know, when I leave the room, I want people to go, wow, I never knew she could do that.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I thought it would be better.
That's the worst. That's the worst.
So, yeah. So I have a lot of that. And I think sometimes, too, when you think you've been really bad, you're not as bad as you think, and so you'll get those calls and whatever. But I do remember like years ago doing like, remember when Mad TV?
Yeah.
And they were looking at a bunch of people, and I do remember, and this is my perception. I mean, who knows what they were thinking or what they were doing. All I remember is looking at them after my audition, and this is what I did a bunch of characters, and this is, what I saw, across the room, like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And so when I left, that's all I could think of was, they did not get me. Who knows? But, I can't. There isn't anything that I think that is terribly horrible. Like I said, I do think everything. I'm a little off.
Huh.
Oh no, I did. Okay, there was this one not too long ago, and it was just the weirdest thing. I went and auditioned, and the casting person that was reading with me was very, very animated. So when he would read me stuff, and then when I would read, this is what he would do.
How?
And I all of a sudden was just like, oh, I was going to get this. And literally every time. And then he says, all right, well, let's do it again. Because that made me a little like, I was a little off. And he did the same thing again. Like, and I went, oh my God, well, I did not know how to handle that. Hence, didn't get that part. But
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you say anything?
Well, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because
no.
I went through something very similar, and I wish I would have said something.
What would you have said? They're not aware of that.
They aren't, and it's such a weird thing. I was at a it was a callback with the creator and for a pilot. It was for the lead, and it was a comedy, and the reader was mouthing my lines with what I was saying.
But was it animated like that?
Yeah, it was like,
yes.
and I was like, like exactly like, what? This is weird. This is so.
How do I handle? And it was he was doing it a lot, so it wasn't just little subtle stuff. It was just like, really, kind of this exactly. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God! And I thought,
where's the camera?
I don't know if he felt like he needs to give me more of that, or and it was hard. It was just horrible. I left there and I was like, I could not wait to tell people, like, well, guess what just happened to me. So yeah,
there's so many things
I know, right?
About like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna help her out. I'm gonna give her.
I know, but I don't think he's. He was an actor. You know that he was an actor, and I auditioned for him before, and I just don't remember it being that experience. I don't remember being maybe that much.
Yeah.
And but because when you audition, there are the casting people that just kind of talk at this and they just rattle off things out, and then there's some people that don't feel like you feel like they're not looking at you, and then you'll get people that want to act with you. And it's just, whoa. And then it's kind of like, all right, let's do it again. And you're like, notes? No, just do it again. Like, oh boy, not even like someplace to go with it now.
So do it again.
Yeah. So I can act with you again. But it's, I was talking to somebody about it, and there are some, very, very well-to-do actors that hate that process, that they don't feel that they feel that it's it doesn't really show off who they are. And Patricia Arquette once said, there was some kind of a talk show where it was all these women, these actresses, and they were talking about the business and auditioning. It was fascinating to me. Once again, to prove we're all human, we all feel the same shit. When we audition, we are all nervous. We all feel we did a horrible job. We all feel all that stuff. And I'm like, thank God. And she was saying, she goes, I can't audition. She says, this is not my best work because I have to get into it with the actor. I have to develop things, and it's true. It is probably the worst and the most ineffective way to act. is to having that audition process of talking to somebody, because you know that when you get an actor that works with you, it changes. How you do things change, and what you feel change.
Absolutely.
And how you respond. And so it's really, really hard, and you have to put on this thing, and I guess they have to look at you going, that there's a possibility there.
You know what? That's a very good point, because sometimes what you like what I've seen in the script and what the character breakdown is, and then I'm going in there with kind of an idea of what I'm going to do, and obviously I'm going to react to what the person's giving me, but then what the person's giving me is totally different from what this is. It's like, how do you keep doing what you're doing, or do you react truthfully to, the person with what they're giving you?
Well, and most of the time it's nothing. So you have to think about reacting as if you think that's how they're reacting, because that's what I'm saying. It's like you don't know until you get two people. Every now and then they would bring in two people to audition together and stuff, but I used to love that. I mean, very rarely, but I love being able to go in. Or if you're a partner, if you and I are playing husband and wife and we're reading to the casting person.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have a real person that is acting with me, and they don't do that, and I wish that they would, because I don't know, it brings you to life.
Yeah, it's fun. It's truthful.
Brings you to life. But then I also look at it and going, well, they want to put you under the worst of conditions to see how you sustain, how consistent you are, how you work it. And it's like, oh, but I really go in there going, okay, I'm not going to be pressured. I'm going to really do it. And then I leave there going, ah! And then I get to go, well, they really like you. You're number one on the what? I was horrible.
Right.
And it's like I really don't like when somebody will say, how'd it go? I have no sense of how it went. I've really finally realized I can't tell you, because when I think I do great, nothing. When I think I'm off, call. You just don't know. And your job is to go in and do your 3 minutes and leave and go, food shopping. You know what I used to do? I used to, because auditioning is so traumatic for me, that I used to have something planned afterwards, or I would put this is like going to sound really, really queer.
No.
I would have
really what?
I would have queer.
Oh, okay.
I would have a cookie in my something I really love to eat in my car. So when I leave,
like
I go, I get to have my cookie.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Because I would sort of feel like I need to give myself, or go buy something. I need to give myself a reward because I beat myself up. Isn't that interesting?
That's so original.
So instead of going, go have lunch with a friend, go treat yourself to something small. I mean, you don't have to buy yourself, nail polish for a girl, big, or manicure. Go do something, because every actor will tell you that they're hard, that auditions are really hard. I mean, I think some people are really good at it. I think some people are very prepared.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I can't memorize it because I get so nervous, but I'm familiar with it. But you leave there and it's just, you don't leave there going, what a great day.
I used to feel like that a lot, especially in the beginning coming out here. Now I feel 90.
You're so together now.
I was going to say 90% of the time.
That's awesome. You know what, though? I really do admire people like you, and there are people like you, and I wish I could get to that place.
Can I share what my mentality with it is and what's helped me?
Yes.
This is my product. This is my interpretation, and I'm confident in my ability to perform it the way I think is going to work. If it works with your story, great. If not, that's fine. I still have my integrity and my confidence in my ability. So best of luck. And for me, once I've really adopted that and focused on that before I go in there, it's like, you know what? I'm ready to have fun in there.
That is the way to do it. If I was going to give anyone, and when I teach or my philosophy, that is perfectly the way to do it. You have your 3 minutes. You prepare, you go in, you do it. There, you have no idea what they're looking at, what they're thinking about in the process. I got the audition. I'm in the room with amazing women who I end up casting, and it's not me. But I'm in the room going, you're in a room with really talented women that work. So they love you. they want you to get the job.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, and if you don't get that job, that doesn't mean you did a bad job. That doesn't mean you're a bad actor. That doesn't mean, it just means in their vision, you're not quite right for that job. Or you remind someone of their ex-wife, or they want someone taller. They want someone. And I absolutely agree 100% with all of that.
Yeah.
What we put on ourselves is, and that's probably where the meditation part would really come in handy before you go in, that is how we should think, that's how we should teach, that's how we should, I hate when somebody goes, kill him, go kill him, Mindy. Don't say that to me. Just say, you know what, Mindy, just do what you do. Do what you do, and that's all you can offer them. I would rather have that kind of pep talk than you're gonna knock them dead. No!
That's weird. I have like a really old guy before every audition, like just give me a pep talk, kind of like the Rocky coach.
I just picture like that. You ever see on Friends, Joey's manager or agent? She's like this old like smoke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you this role. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
You're gonna need $1 million. So it's
Yes,
just like
yes.
so over the top.
I know.
But I think that's great, like especially for our listeners that are like getting their feet wet and starting to book more or going out on more auditions, is like when you're finished with that, instead of just holding that burden onto you, like do that treat, like do that. It's almost like a meditation in itself of go out and do something for you, because you can pat yourself on the back because at least you did it. And whether it was good, whether it was bad, like you did everything you could.
You drove
do
across town. You
in
had
the traffic.
I mean, really, all of that takes so much time and effort. And to get up it's very courageous to get up and to do something, and you don't know what they're looking for. And unless they give you a note, that was it. And you keep doing. I just think that we need to be, I mean, and I say this because I need to remind myself to be better to ourselves.
You know, I want to hit upon something too. That's extremely physically and mentally tolling, some of our auditions that we go on.
Very.
I mean, sometimes if we have, like, I live in the Valley, so if I have to drive to Santa Monica or
On a
get on the
certain
405,
time.
that's an hour sometimes
it's raining.
each way, right?
And it's raining,
Yes.
or it's hot and sweaty, and your air conditioning isn't working, or you have spilled coffee on yourself, or you're also, oh my God, I left something, something at home, or my life, or my mom is sick, and I
Right.
keep thinking about her, and you have to kind of disengage yourself for 3 minutes. There's a lot that goes on with us.
Or you're working a second job.
Yes,
and you're
yes,
like,
you got to get to work after.
I'm late for my shift
Yes.
already because this session is taking 45 minutes. I should be there in 10 minutes. It's extremely mentally, physically tolling. And I know for people who are not actors, and we have some listeners who actually are not actors on the show, it might seem kind of silly. It's like you just spent like maybe 3 hours out of your day and you're saying you're tired after an audition. It's like, yeah, those 3 hours were pretty
Oh
grueling.
my God. Yeah, the adrenaline.
And having to, for me, I like to, when I'm driving there, sometimes put on music that I think my character might like, or
Oh, that's interesting. I put on spa music.
Just to
'cause-
relax.
Because I have anxiety.
Yeah.
I have major anxiety when I
Okay.
go. So I have put on spa music seriously
I
to
like that.
just relax me. But I love that. Yeah, what you think your character would listen to. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm dead inside because I will drive to work for 45 minutes in complete silence and not realize it, and then I'm like,
I think that's also really good. I will do that too sometimes where, you know what, I don't want to listen to me, and I listen to all kinds of music. I don't want to listen. I want it to be silent.
Yeah.
I think that's really good too.
I think, yeah, especially out here, there's always so much going on, and like, I mean, I'll do other things like I'll write a scene in my head, or like I probably look crazy on the street too, because I bet I pass people on the highway and I just like, what are you doing? Just like yelling at myself back and forth because I'm having like a scene.
Do you know what?
But I'm like-
Everybody, do you know that I talk to myself in stores? Do you know that I'm not the only one that people do stuff like that in the car? I mean, we all do things.
Yeah.
So you may think, oh, somebody is thinking that I'm crazy. Haven't you seen somebody do that in the
That's
car?
true. Yeah, no. I've been listening, actually, this past week. I've been going to work, and I've, like, the past 3 days, there's one song I have on repeat, because it's, like, the end of a script I'm writing, and, like, it's just scenes that are, like, really tragic, and so I'm just, like, driving to work, being like, I have to stop crying by the time I get there. People are going to think I'm weird.
I love that.
It's funny.
But actually,
But
I
being
was
out
able to
here,
write
when
it.
you do stuff like that, when you talk like that, when you look at someone, you know, they're doing
writer.
they're a writer or they're an actor practicing their stuff. It's true.
Yeah. I think there's a I don't care moment, especially if you're in your car and you're parked and if you're about to go in, if you're going over your lines and you see people walking by. I mean, I've gotten to the point where like I don't care. Like I have sides in my hand. You can think I'm crazy. I really don't care. I have to. Here's a little. Maybe this might be TMI, but a little world inside or a little view inside the world of WeSam. Most mornings when I wake up and I go into the bathroom and I see myself in the mirror,
right?
I just like to look in the mirror and just go, "What's up, fucker?" Like in a little Latino voice, and like for no reason.
I love it,
and it makes me laugh uncontrollably.
I love that.
I don't know why. It's just like,
"What's up, fucker?"
What's up, fucker? Like that. I don't know. Just there you go. That's something nobody knows about me.
Every morning you do that voice?
Most mornings I do that voice.
Do you do any other characters when you look in the mirror?
I probably do a lot of weird stuff. I talk to myself. I think I'm funniest right when I wake up.
Really?
I am like I make myself laugh. I've made other people laugh right when I wake up. So probably So I think I'm funniest when
you wake up in a really good creative mood.
Yeah.
That's great.
And you know what I need to start doing again? Waking up at dawn. I haven't done that in a while.
Dawn meaning what? 6, 5?
Well, it depends. I mean, now it's probably like 5:45, 5:30. Yeah.
You get more. I know, and you get more done. I mean, and I think somebody said that that's like your most creative time in the morning because it's quiet. It's before any shit goes on and any stuff gets caught in your head. But yeah.
See, I'm more of a night person. Like I always say this when I go to bed. Like when normal people go to bed. Their brains stop working, so I have more of the creative energy going on, so I can actually focus. And I'm a night owl. I'll write and I'll say weird things, and that's when I
guess we're not saying that everybody's the same at 6 a.m. I think it's just again it's different. I think sometimes my brain is on overdrive before I go to sleep, and especially if I have to work the next day, all I think about are the lines. All I think about is this, and then I sleep horribly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mindy, we have a game prepared.
Oh.
Would you like to play a special game that
Sure.
we've called, can I say the name?
Yes.
It's called the Mindy Project.
Oh.
Strictly a game we invented with you on
This
the
is
show.
not about Mindy Kaling, is
It
it?
is not. It's about you.
We are no relation to her.
No copyright infringement
I
here.
don't know about her life.
We're asking questions about the Mindy Project today. No, we have a game we'd like to play that would be me reading you a few quotes that you've done over the years to see if you can figure out which role it was from.
Oh, so they're quotes from roles, not
That
from
you've
my
played.
real life. Okay.
Yeah.
That would
When
be.
did you
That
say
wasn't
this?
me. I did not say that.
You said to your son on 2012.
Depends on what the meaning of is. That wasn't you? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
No. All right, here we go.
I haven't heard these, so this will be.
You'll probably know more than me.
Attention minions, I need to use your natural talents to make toys for me.
Ooh.
Another character says, aren't you a little bit old for toys? I may be old, but I am going to outlive you.
Not a clue.
No?
No.
Not even a guess?
Not a clue.
Suzanne Skidmore.
Oh my God. I should have probably, She always would say horrible things to the kids. That's true.
All right, I have another one.
I love this. I love this.
This one's... I found this one. If I don't acknowledge your existence, maybe you'll just go away.
That sounds like an ant farm. No?
No.
iCarly? No.
I don't know when this was. I don't have the year on this one.
What is it?
Janice Nugent from Legit.
Oh, Legit.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. I forget everything I've ever said after it's done.
By the way, for our listeners, you should go see her IMDb. I mean, you have so many credits on there.
So many
So
great things.
yeah,
too.
Thank
Like,
so
you.
I mean,
That's very sweet. Thank you.
she hasn't done like 2 things, and then she's like,
No.
I don't remember.
No.
That'd be really weird.
Oh my God.
uh,
What did you go on YouTube to see all of the? Like,
No.
how do you get these things?
I found them.
We
I am
watched everything we've ever
Ever
been
done.
on.
this one's a little bit down. It's not as funny, but it's...
Maybe it was a serious
Mike
movie.
was a ray of sunshine on our street. He will be missed dearly.
What did I say, Mike?
Mike was a ray of sunshine on our street. He will be missed dearly.
Desperate Housewives?
Yes.
Oh yes!
Ding, 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 ding.
Only because the street.
Yeah.
He was a ray of
like, that's
sunshine
kind
on
of-
her street. So yeah, okay.
Oh,
So I was a
God.
neighbor on
Spoiler alert.
Housewives.
Show's been over for a while.
Yes,
I
yeah.
know. Yeah, Someone ruined that for me, by the way. I was at a party and they were like talking about the whole Nicolette Sheridan
Right.
thing, and they were like, "Oh," and they had that whole thing where they brought James.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and I was like, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh,
Why are
I
you
hate when they
telling me
do
this?
that. When two people start talk about a movie or
That was my
a
first,
play,
like-
and you're like, please don't. I haven't seen that yet.
It's my first industry party where people like ruined something that hasn't aired yet. I was like, oh.
Damn.
Remember when we froze your semen? You said that if I didn't look like you were coming, that you didn't look like you were coming back, we should try to create an heir so part of you would live forever.
Frau. That was Austin
Yes.
Powers.
And we have one more.
Not many lines about semen
Yes.
in the career.
I didn't want to go to the Lucky Charms route because
Oh, we
that
got
one is
been too
very
easy.
popular.
Yes.
Let me see. Panini, silence the fat one.
That was a chowder.
Yes. I liked the follow-up was, not you, the fat purple bunny cat kid.
That was a really fun. Yes, I can't believe you didn't
That
get
is
any.
that was a cute show.
It was a
I
really
liked that
cute
a lot.
show. Really cute.
Yeah, that's it. I wish I had more. I couldn't. I was just. It's
That's
hard
okay.
to find quotes for characters.
I would
in
think
shows.
so. Like, how do you find them?
Oh, I had to go through episodes.
You
and
really
find
did
the
some
quotes.
work.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I wanted to test you.
Wow.
Mindy, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Oh my God, thank you guys. This is so awesome. And like I said, this is like my favorite kind of interview to do because you were involved. It wasn't just me.
Of course.
And we got to talk about like life.
Yeah, it's not even an interview. It's just we're just
I know, see,
chatting.
it's conversation.
Yeah.
It's so much better.
I like it. I love it. If there's one piece of advice you can give to the struggling artist before we leave, we always like to wrap it up with our guests. What would you say?
You know, just stay a human being. You know, really don't give up, but have a life outside of what you do. So you have two things going on. So it's not just, you know, your acting career. Have a life, have, you know, relationships, have, you know, friends, that kind of stuff. It's, you know, and I have to once again keep reminding myself, this is called show business. This is a business. So some business is great and some business is bad. And don't let it get the best of you, basically.
Wonderful. Awesome. If people want to find you on the interweb, are you on Twitter or a website?
I'm on Twitter. I'm really bad at that, but I'm Ms. MS Mindy Sterling. Instagram, I'm different. Somebody said I should have had the same name, but I get confused. Instagram, I'm Mindy Stir. And yes, and then I'm working right now on a web series for Vimeo. Is that it?
Awesome.
Vimeo. And it's called Con Man, and it's with Nathan Fillion from Castle and Alan Tudyk and a lot of really, really wonderful people. And it's about the Comic-Cons.
Oh, great.
Which I'm very involved in. And I will be in San Diego at the San Diego Comic-Con convention.
Oh, fun. This is because of, hold on, don't tell me. Beifong, Lin Beifong on the Legend of Korra,
Well, that's
right?
one of them.
That's one of them.
And
Okay.
I sign autographs on Friday and Saturday there. Austin Powers, the kids stuff, Beifong, and but also we're going to do a panel for Con Man and sort of get all of that out. So, yeah, and so yeah,
wonderful. That's awesome.
I went to go say something and it just was like, awesome. Oh my God, thank you very much. So
Jordan,
loved.
thanks for joining me, man.
Love being here.
What's your Twitter?
At Jordan Burbank 7.
Awesome.
Your real name is Jordan Burbank.
Jordan Burbank.
Burbank,
Yep.
Mr. and Mrs. Burbank.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
No.
Well, because I had to come to Burbank. And
I
you
am
were,
a joke.
Okay.
No.
No.
No, I everyone always said, actually, Ari, just before when he walked in, he was like, is this real? Is this a real name? And I'm like, yes.
I mean, you must have to say that all the time, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone's like, a lot of people on sets and stuff, they'll be like, oh, Glendale. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it. That's fine.
After a while, get old.
Or I think I actually like changed my name when I moved here. Like
Creepy.
Van Nuys didn't
Wouldn't that be
sound
creepy?
great.
Yes.
So
Jordan Van Nuys.
That's a porn star, I think, right?
it can be
It
when I change my name.
Gabe.
I'm not talking anymore.
Big thanks to Gabe at GVB Radio. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Gabe. I haven't seen you at all because you're behind that monitor.
You're like
Just see your
Wilson.
pretty eyes.
Just like
He hasn't been recording any of this. He's just on Facebook the whole time.
Oh, that's just great.
Like checking out flights to Hawaii.
Thanks to GBB Radio. Thank you to our listeners. We appreciate you so much. Always love hearing from you, your comments, suggestions. Hit us up on Twitter at PodcastAA, our Instagram, Actors Anonymous Podcast, and our website, actorsanonymouspodcast.com. You can find me at WeSamKeish on Twitter and Vine and Instagram. Thank you so much.
Vine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I said that out loud.
Vine.
I don't use Vine.
Was it 5 seconds, 6 seconds?
6 seconds. Yeah.
I was just going to say, who has the time to Vine? I'm like, 6 seconds, I can't really.
That's way too much time taken out of my life.
Always remember to listen, think, and then talk.